Hi guys, welcome. If you're joining me for the first time, this is going to be pretty shocking for some of you. I know it was pretty shocking for me, but I am going to let you know this mysterious reason why I know for sure your spirit guides are already talking to you. And hint, this has nothing to do with seeing a feather on the floor or picking up a penny. Hey Nadine. So this topic came actually on my Facebook group called Divining Women. Ladies, if you're not a part of this group, it's amazing and it's for all women who are spiritually seeking. My name is Susan Dyer, and I was born clairvoyant. I had a very, very bewildering time growing up. I grew up terrified. I didn't understand what I was seeing. Hey, Lisa. Hi. I didn't understand what I was seeing. My parents didn't know what I was seeing, and I had to find my way. So I have been seeking along these lines for decades. And I kind of manifested dark night of the soul after dark night of the soul. And I could not figure out why. A near-death experience last summer finally clarified that for me, and I am so grateful. So now, today, I help other women spiritually resurrect themselves. And what does that look like? Well, if you're watching this video right now, I would venture to say you are definitely a light worker, which means you came here to incarnate in this time and space for a reason. And that reason is, in your own way, whatever that looks like for you, is to serve. Hey, Jackie. Hey, Carolyn. Welcome, you guys. We are just getting started. And, oh, Lisa, I'm so glad you just joined. It really is my dream come true, creating our tribe like that. Hey, Darian. So I had to find my way, and I finally did, but it took so long. And all the while, I had no idea what to do with what I was seeing. I had no idea what to do with my intuition. I kind of stuffed myself away and disappeared. I grew to believe I was so weird and so broken. I truly, it became a belief, and no one could convince me otherwise. And because of that, because I was living so fraudulently, because I was living so afraid, I manifested a flaming disaster of a life. It really did. At the age of 40, my life looked like a string of rock bottoms. It really did. But because I had this chronic illness, chronic Lyme disease, I actually had a pretty epic near-death experience last summer where I was completely blessed enough to meet God, speak with God without speaking, meet Jesus. I flew with this. He asked me if I wanted to get better, and I did. I got to meet one of my guides too at the end of that near-death experience. And hey, Pam, that near-death experience, will be with me my whole life, and it has informed a lot of what I'm talking with you guys about today. So I have a weekly Q&A in my group every Thursday night. And one of our major topics last week was, how do I know my guides are talking to me? Especially, this woman wanted to know, especially because she had been resisting her intuition for a long time. So a lot of us do resist our intuition for a long time, primarily because a lot of us don't know what to do with it. We don't know if we should trust it because we're not in that practice. And then even if we were, we're not quite sure exactly what to do with it anyway. So this is such a common question. But what I see on the internet, I don't entirely agree with. Or rather, I do agree with it, but I'd rather add about 100 square feet of depth and weight to what I usually see. Hey, Liesel. Hey, Becky. Hi, Lisa. So guys, I'm gonna ask you right now, before I get started, because this will really help us in our discussion. Why don't you drop a comment right now and let me know if you're going to think about your own intuition. How do you most naturally notice synchronicities and anything of that nature? Would you say you are mostly visual? Or is it mostly by clear feeling? Or is it mostly clairaudient? Or do you just get these downloads and you don't know how you get them or why you get them? Give me a quick comment. Let me know. Let me know, what is your most natural way of gleaning awareness? Because this is going to be huge. Yeah, Nadine, Thursday was awesome, for sure. And just so you guys know, in our group, in Divining Women, and there is a link on my page, but in our group, when we have these sessions, they're actually completely Q&A. They really are like classes, I guess you would say, to discover your spiritual gifts and master them. This is my belief, and this underlies everything I do. And this also might seem a little bit shocking, but just stay with me. I do want to state before we get going, I'm not religious. I honor everybody's beliefs. I personally am like a freelancer. I love God more than anything. I've based my entire life off of that love, but I actually orbit outside of religion. So when you hear me talk about it, just know that I honor and accept everybody's belief in the same way, no matter what it looks like. And even if you don't believe, my best friend on this planet is an atheist who vacillates into agnosticism sometimes, but you know what I'm saying. And she is absolutely one of the most spiritual people I know. So that said, please know this, if you're struggling along spiritual lines, that is more than okay. Truly, one of the most spiritual people I know in my life would tell you straight up, she does not believe in God. At best, she may believe sometimes. And she is a spiritual giant. That is because there is no correct way to do any of this. There's no correct way. Absolutely not. We are each sparks of God ourselves. And that's my primary belief. And that's kind of where everything that I speak of comes from. And that belief was something that I wasn't aware of until that near-death experience. When I was viscerally in God's presence, that is when I realized my own belief that, oh my, I'm God. You are God, just as you are. Each of us, we are each a finite, impossibly tiny speck of the infinite that we call God. And that means we are just as powerful. We are just as love-based. So, bringing us back into this topic that we all want to know and draw comfort from. How do I know my guides are really speaking to me? Well, I'll tell you. And I actually had the women in my group guess last week. And I gotta tell you, nobody guessed. Nobody guessed. Because honestly, it's just not the way we talk about things usually. So here it is. Here is why I absolutely know that your guides are completely speaking with you at every moment. Hey, Minka. The reason is you are your guides. You are them. There is no separation. There is no separation, and therefore it's not possible for you to not be in communication with your guides. Let me know how this resonates, guys. Tell me, how surprised are you? It's gonna be a little shocking for you guys. And Deborah actually wrote, I love this, by the way. I actually had closed off to the Bible long ago. I had a really intense experience with a wrangler on a ranch at one point. She actually locked me into the saddle room and pulled out a pocket Bible, basically shut me down at the Bible for a couple decades. So I love it when people share with me bits of the Bible that I resonate with. And Deborah actually just wrote this. She's a member of our group and she's amazing. She just said, yes, in the Bible, Jesus even says, have I not told you, ye are gods? That tells me we are all gods in manifestation. Deborah, thank you for that. That's awesome. I love that. I love finding bits of the Bible like that where I'm like, yes, that really resonates with my experience. So thank you. So this is what I want to explain, because I have a way of thinking about this that may take some of the bewilderment out of it. Hey, Valerie, no worries about being late. I'm just happy you're here. So here I am. My name's Susan. I help women spiritually resurrect themselves. But that's just my personality in this lifetime. And just like each of you, we each have a spiritual DNA that you can trace in a linear way. You can trace it up and out, all the way back to God. It goes all the way back, just like a stream goes to a river, goes to an ocean. That is our spiritual DNA. The beings that we perceive as our primary or dominant guides, guys, they're not separate beings. Those beings are just more expanded versions of your energy. There is no separation, and we are never not in whole and complete communication with them. That is the great news about this. There is so much less mystery to developing your intuition and growing to understand your spiritual gifts than you may have thought. I hope that simplifies things for you, because everything is God, everything is one, and therefore everything that you're perceiving is divinely perfect synchronicity. How mind-blowing is that? To think that, oh my gosh, I don't have to struggle or strain to get in touch with divine guidance, because I am divine guidance. I'm made of God. The way that my kids understand God is this. They know God is the toothpaste tube, and we are the God paste blobs. Each of us, we're tiny little blobs of God paste, and that's how we talk about it. And honestly, that's how I think about it. That's not too simple for me. It actually makes everything so much clearer. And we each have a number of different beings, if you want to call them that, with different kinds of energy signatures that do guide us and do inform us. But again, it's not anything separate from. It's actually not even anything that comes from without. All of this extra sensory awareness, all of this multi-dimensional information that we seek to connect with, all of it comes from within. And this is my number one tip for you guys, because I know if you're watching, I absolutely know you have the same desire I do, and the same desire all the women in my group, Divining Women, do. And that is, we wish to reunify with our greater selves and be in touch with a more divine and expansive vantage point than just what our primary senses in this magical little meatball suit can observe. We all want that. And what I want to share with you is it's so much more natural and effortless than you may have ever understood it to be. And I love that kind of information. I don't know about you. So So I really hope this brought you guys some comfort. It really did me. It confused me for a minute, but then I resonated with it, and it actually brought me comfort. I like anything that feels like it simplifies this topic of spirituality, because this topic of spirituality can seem so vague and nebulous. And that is actually my biggest shift. Also, post near-death experience, God is no longer nebulous. I thought of him as loving, yes, but nebulous. And that is something I no longer resonate with. I wish to empower you. I wish to simplify things. I wish for each and every one of you to realize there are no rules when it comes to spirituality. There are no rules when it comes to defining how you best connect with whatever it is you call God. Anything goes, you guys. Anything. It's what resonates as truth to you. And if you're looking to find your purpose, if you're looking to explore and identify even your spiritual gifts, please join my group. Hit the notification button below. You'll be notified of all these live videos. This is what I do. I want to help you remember that you are God. You are God, just as you are. Messed up parts of you and everything. And trust me, I have been messed up. I am super weird. There are a lot of things that you could look at in my life and be shocked about. And I know it's all absolutely divinely purposed and informs who I am. Each and every one of those dark nights of the soul, I wouldn't trade them for the world. I'm so grateful to be here. Please like this video, share it with your friends, come on over to my group, and definitely check back here next Sunday. We'll talk about something next that's completely awesome, completely comforting, and completely inspiring. Thanks so much, everybody. Yes, Lise, I love that book, Conversations with God. It was very illuminating. I especially liked when Neil discussed the insanity of war. Do you remember that part? That really struck me most about that book, when he was like, we are a singular planet. Can you imagine the absurdity of striking out at our fellows? I loved that because it really was so practical. I was like, yeah. And I think he even goes to say this, like, imagine a tree using one of its branches to strike out at another one of its branches. That portion of the book is what I loved the most, actually, because that is my absolute belief that all is one, and that I am God, just like you are God, that we are the same. And the way that I describe God and the way that he appeared to me when I was in that experience was blazing golden light, just endless rays of that. And a feeling, even more so than love, the feeling I had in his presence was freedom. And that kind of informs everything I do. I want to smudge all of the rules and just have you instead be like, what is this going to mean to me? What does this mean to me? And remember your divinity. Remember and come back into union with yourself, because we can all do it. And it is my joy to help you do that. Thank you guys. Thank you so much. All my thanks and love. And I'll be seeing you soon. Bye.